Social Security, a key component for retirement for many Americans, but it's not just an automatic check every month. Choices you make about your benefits can have a major impact on your income.
Yeah, timing is everything, right? Financial instructor Michael Masserant of the Retirement Education Foundation here with help on how to get the most out of your benefits. And I know maybe you're not ready for it yet, and I know we're not quite ready there yet, but this is important information to be thinking about as you're planning ahead for retirement.
It really is. So we find that people really underestimate the importance of Social Security. It's a much bigger puzzle piece in terms of retirement planning than people realize. And people have some really strong opinions when it comes to Social Security. We hear the gamut.
Like what, Michael?
Some people say, I'm starting my benefits at 62 no matter what, because I've been paying money to the system and I want to get the money back, and the darn government's not going to keep my money. The fact that the government's involved with Social Security really skews people's thinking about it. But the problem is that it's a big puzzle piece, and if you get it right versus wrong, it can drastically impact your retirement. We're talking over a lifetime, over a retirement, hundreds of thousands of dollars of difference in income. It's a big, big deal to understand how turning benefits on earlier or later impacts you and a spouse, potentially.
What is the most common or some of the most common mistakes people make when drawing this benefit or deciding to draw this?
So number one, just not understanding the power of the benefit. There are four really unique characteristics. Number one, it's not tied to the stock market. Every single month, that check is the same. Number two, it's inflation protected. So if we have high inflation years like we saw in 2021, 2022 with 7-8% inflation, you get a 7 or 8% bump to your Social Security. Number three, it's tax advantaged, meaning we get a portion of Social Security tax free. And number four, it pays for as long as you live. There are no other income sources that do all four of those things. It is really, really powerful. It is. And so that's why we want to make sure we're picking the start date at the right time, because the longer you wait, the more you get, and vice versa. But it's the age-old question that people are always trying to tackle with of, okay, well, what if I wait too long and then I don't live as long, and then what if I turn it on sooner and I live a long time? No one knows when they're going to pass, and it's not a fun thing to think about. So people just kind of, plug their ears and pull the lever whenever they feel like it might be right. Usually based on a big mistake is just they're doing the break-even calculation. People do this break-even calculation of, if I turn it on at 65, 66, 67, how long do I have to live before I win? Before I win for delaying it longer.
Right.
But the problem is that people almost always do this break-even calculation with the gross income. I don't care about the gross income. I care about the net income in your pockets. How much net income after taxes are you keeping? The gross dollars aren't that relevant. If you have a higher gross income,
that's going to change, you mean?
If you have a higher gross income, you're paying higher taxes, and then you have less income in your pocket, it's not a win. It impacts every other piece to this. It impacts Social Security. It impacts your Medicare brackets. It impacts everything in terms of how retirement should be mapped out. But most people try to just look at this in a vacuum and pull the trigger.
So you're saying don't look at Social Security on its own. Combine that with other buy downs that you're doing in retirement.
You got to zoom out and see all the puzzle pieces. The Roth conversions, the Medicare, the tax brackets,
your 401k,
your 401k, your IRAs, your Roth accounts. Everything has to be combined. But most people just think, nope, I don't want the government to keep my money. Turn it on. And that down the road may impact them.
It's so true. Were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, but you would think, what difference does it make what I'm doing with my 401k and my investments and my Roths? The government owes me this money. I'm going to take it now.
For sure. And this is another big mistake, is that people think I'm going to spend the government's money.
Yes.
And that means I need to spend less of my money. It's all your money. The question is, there's not an account with your name on it at the Treasury, literally, but there might as well. It's your money. You're going to get the money. So the question is,
for sure. Okay.
You will.
Okay.
The question is, what setting of these levers of my account, Social Security, pensions, all these different pieces, how do I maximize the cash flow, the net cash flow in my pockets? There are a lot of ways to tackle the math problem, but figuring out what setting of levers does it take to maximize that cash flow, make my money last the longest, that's what you should be targeting for.
I mentioned last time Michael was in that I did take the 8-hour class that the Retirement Education Foundation.
Great, yeah.
I did. I thought it was fantastic. And what you're saying now, just all of it is so eye-opening to understand and to hear and to see on charts just how important and how much money you're really costing yourself if you don't do it the right way or have someone do it the right way for you.
There's tax implications too. I mean,
It's massive.
That's why you need help from, if nothing else, you can take a class.
Right.
But, really getting
that's
help
what we
from
tell
somebody.
people is just get the education, because if you know, this is complicated, and we're constantly inundated with opinions from friends, family, online,
social media is huge.
Right.
And so no one knows what to believe. The education will help you get at least on the right path.
Thank you, Michael. refedu.org, Retirement Education Foundation.
If you take a class, you might see Ryan in there.
Hey, that's right. Absolutely. Thanks, Michael. Lee, over to you, buddy.